Welcome back, everybody, to another financial tip of the month from F3 Capital. With you, as always, I'm Nathan Fox. I'm a financial advisor, and I'm the founder and managing partner of F3 Capital. Today, I got a great tip for you on how to build wealth. And yes, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this is just going to be another cliche video about how you should be maxing out your 401k or 403b and IRAs. No, I'm going to get a little bit more granular than that. Hopefully give everyone here at least one good nugget to walk away with so that you can go into your own lives and build wealth more efficiently. Now, after speaking with thousands of people, I've seen some common trends of why people fail to build wealth. So I'm going to hopefully highlight some of those here today in a clear and concise manner so that people can get the most out of today's video. Building wealth is important. I've never run across anyone out there who doesn't really want to build wealth. And, we build wealth for a number of reasons. We want good returns, but the purpose of being able to build wealth around us is what it provides. It provides us with more options, allows us to spend more time with our families, more time on our hobbies, and really just more time for us so we can live the best versions of ourselves. And what I've noticed when people struggle with the wealth building process, it's because they don't really have a game plan. They don't have a formula that they're sticking to so that they know they can predict results. They know that they can actually, more importantly, get results. And so it often becomes disorganized. And if you think about anything that you've achieved at a high level in your life, it didn't happen by accident, right? You had a process to it. You had patience, you had persistency, you had a number of elements in there that helped you get to where you want to get. And building wealth is no different. So let's get into the video. Let's get into the details. And if you can hang on into the end, I'm going to provide just an offer for people who maybe want to kickstart in building wealth. So if you hang on to the end, I will share with you what that is. But let's get into this video. However, first, if you've liked our videos so far and you've appreciated our tips of the month, please give the video a like, subscribe. We get the positive feedback with the likes. So, how to build wealth? The first step to building wealth is to understand your cash flow situation. Cash flow is simply the amount of money that you have coming to you on a monthly basis, bi-weekly basis, weekly basis, whatever. The amount of money that you have flowing to you. Now, most people are aware of cash flow in the form of their job. Most people have jobs, and if you have a job and you're watching this, it's important that you know exactly what's coming in and exactly where it's going. If you don't, it's going to become difficult to optimally deploy that money in a wealth building fashion that gets you where you want to get efficiently. So when you're looking at the cash flow process, we want to know what's coming in and where it's going to the penny. A lot of people will have an Excel spreadsheet or they'll have some type of tracking mechanism. However, it often is not quite accurate enough and people don't always stay on top of it. So what I advocate is using a software or technology that makes it easier for you. At F3 Capital, our clients get a cash flow tool that automates the whole process for them. So they can simply pull up their last month's cash flow cycle and know exactly where everything went. They can even track last year, the year before. They could pull up their 5-year trends to really know where their money's going, what percentage to groceries, their mortgage, their fun habits, every expense that exists, we know. And there we can begin to operate under ratios, right? I think wealth planning, as we're analyzing the cash flow, comes down to expense ratios. As an example, if you're making $10,000 a month and $2,500 is going towards the mortgage, that's an expense ratio on your mortgage of 25%. That is how we can best understand what percentage of income is going where. And if you can operate with expense ratios and ratios of income to what you're doing, we can have a lot more clarity on precisely where our money's going. So we do the cash flow analysis. We understand what's coming in. Now we can begin to plan of how to optimally deploy it, where it's going to go in terms of savings, because building wealth comes down to savings, right? Some people build wealth, they sell a company, so they have a wealth acceleration event. They might have an inheritance, wealth acceleration. They may win the lottery, although rare, wealth acceleration. But wealth is generally built over time after you analyze your cash flow and then begin to deploy it as a percentage of income. So what is a good percentage of income to target as a savings rate? Well, of course, we want to start with whatever is possible today. However, the ideal target for savings should be about 25%. If you target higher than that, there's like what's called a FIRE movement out there where people are trying to, retire as fast as possible and get out of traditional type retirements where you don't retire maybe till mid 60s. A lot of young professionals are trying to accelerate that, into their 40s or 50s. So if you want to do that, you would need to exceed 25%. If you're going to build wealth over time versus coming into just an accelerated event where you sell a company and make perhaps millions doing that. Most people don't do that. So I'm going to give you an example here today. I'm just going to use, a wage that is, roughly middle class to show that even someone who's, earning a modest income can build wealth rather quickly and achieve financial independence. It is within your control, of course. But what it takes, as I mentioned, is, as like anything you've achieved at a high level, is it takes a plan, it takes consistency, and it takes time. So what percentage would make sense for you will be determined based upon that cash flow analysis. But let's say you're making $75,000 a year, and let's say that you are looking to now save 25% of your income. So 25% of $75,000 would be $18,750 per year. So if you're able to get to that level, and if you can't, maybe you start off at 5%, set a goal to get to 10%. Don't get overwhelmed by that 25% number. Even if you're starting with 1%, set the short-term goal. Set short-term goals to get to your ultimate goal. Very few people just come out of the gate their early 20s saving the 25%. But if you're watching this and maybe you're now in your 40s or 50s and you're in your peak earning years, let's really focus on that 25% savings rate. And now let's talk about what you can do with it. So of course, once you're able to save 25 or 1 or 5 or 10% of your wealth, you need to know where to put it. A financial advisor can help do that. Any financial professional that's competent can help you pick out quality funds to put the money into. And I can do another video on the types of ways to invest. But let's just assume you put money away at the, roughly $18,750 per year, and we can do that monthly. And let's assume you put it into something that does like the market average. Like you're able to get about 8%. The stock market, like the S&P 500 over time has generally performed that. So let's just say you get about average investment rates of return. If you're able to save that, you will hit $1 million in just about 22 years. That assumes that you only make $75,000 a year, which is a good wage, but I mean, only make that for 22 years. You don't have a single pay increase. You don't differentiate or go up in savings rate. You stick at 25%. You stick there for 22 years. You're going to hit $1 million, right? Now, people say that 22 years, that's a very long time. However, you hit your next million in just about 7.5 years after that. So first million takes about 22 years to get to, 21 and a half, 22. The next million takes about 7.5 more years after that. So wealth has that force, that momentum that comes to it, and hitting that critical mass is important. So when you're mapping this out, to kind of wrap this up here, make sure, number one, that you have done an analysis of your cash flow so that you understand where all your money is going. This will allow you to potentially either cut back in certain areas or really allows you to see the forest through the trees to know what's possible for you. If you can't start off at that 25%, that's okay. Work your way up, set a goal where maybe for the next year you're going to do 5%. After that, you're going to do another 5%, whatever. Work your way up to the 25%. And if you can do that and be consistent behind it while choosing quality investments, that should allow you to now feel good knowing that you're at least on pace to get where you want to be. The lack of clarity that people have when they're setting financial goals often gets them distracted from continuing, right? You'll get through maybe a couple good years of savings and you won't have that instant gratification that comes with a lot of things we do in life. There's that delayed gratification. However, if you know that what you're doing is going to set you up, because if we simply look at, hey, saving $18,750, we can come up with an interest rate. We can very quickly figure out and even work backwards to what it takes to hit certain goals. Even if it's only $500,000, right? You'll hit $500,000 in just about 15 years at saving the $18,750 with a $75,000 a year salary. But then you hit $1 million in just 7 years. So if you know that if you can get to a critical mark, let's say $500,000 or even 100,000, your next 100,000 and the doubling of that money will become much faster. So make sure that if you're looking to optimize your wealth building, that you understand exactly where money's going and coming from, right? Your cash flow, what's coming to you, where it's going. Then begin to optimally deploy it. We want to pick out quality investments. We want to stay consistent. Target that 25% savings rate. And that should give you the peace of mind of knowing that at least you're setting the right habits in place to put you in the highest probability of success. And that clarity alone should allow you to feel better about your financial future. Now, as I promised, I said I would give everyone here an offer at the end to help them. So if you're watching this, there's going to be a link in the description below for a complimentary consultation. Now, that link is for you to set a time with us where I will give you our cash flow planning software for free. I'll let you sample it out for a week. And if you like it, we can talk about what it would cost to maintain after that. But anyone watching this who just doesn't have an adequate cash flow tool, click the link. It brings you to our calendar. Just write in the description for the meeting. It can be a Zoom or phone. Just write, you saw this video. Say, I saw the wealth building video, or just type wealth building video in the comments. That way I know when I speak with you that we're going to get you over our software so that you can have a really bird's eye view of exactly where your money's going, and do so in a really turnkey way to put you in the highest probability for financial success. As always, stay tuned for more financial tips of the month. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out at any time with the link below, or just send us an email from our website. Looking forward to sharing more financial tips of the month.